there's magic in the backyard. Go and find it.
We'll head around to all the towns, head away, holiday. South Aussie with Cosi's on sit down. South Aussie with Cosi. In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday. South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
In this episode, I'm screaming from the rooftops, bring back the great South Australian family road trip. That's what we're going to do down to the southeast. Whatever happened to the family road trips? You know, I think about it when I was a young fella, grew up in the York Peninsula, Mum and Dad would take us up to the Flinders, they'd chuck us all in the car and we'd be off to the Riverland. Nowadays, I don't think it happens as much, so give me the next half hour of your life. I'll have you itching to get the car keys and do what we're doing, a road trip down to the southeast. And I'll show you a holiday park complete with a disco for the kids. We'll find out why 10,000 Chinese walked from Robe to Victoria. And we'll head to Penola's Petticoat Lane to finally work out why the chicken crossed the road. But before I show you around down here, I've got something to show you in the city of Adelaide that's totally free. You know, I love spotting a bargain in South Australia as much as I love showing you guys around this great state. And I reckon I've found a beauty. Did you know you can travel around the city area on a bus completely for free? It's called the Adelaide City Connector, and it goes all around the city, taking not just tourists, but local South Australians to all destinations around the CBD. And best of all, it runs 7 days a week. The Adelaide City Connector buses have got one bus that's more famous than the others. It's the one behind me. It's called Tindo, it's bright green, and I bet you've seen it cruising the streets of Adelaide. Why is this bus so special? Well, in order to answer that question, we'll better get on the bus and speak to the Lord Mayor, Mr. Stephen Yarwood.
Tindo is Ghana for solar. So this is the first electric solar powered bus in the entire world. What I love about electric vehicles is they're so quiet. This is really, really peaceful. Council's trialling electric motorcycles, electric bicycles, as well as this bus, and I've got an electric car, and it really makes things like outdoor dining much more attractive because you're starting to make the streets of Adelaide that little bit more quiet, and it really is an iconic way of getting around the city. It's just that little bit different to every other city in Australia.
It's not just free travel, the Adelaide City Council is investing in making spots around the city more user-friendly.
Everyone wants to be outdoors, Cosi, and the southwest corner here is Whitmore Square, right near Sturt Street. We've put a tennis table here, and it's never been so busy.
I think this is great. I've never seen this ever, and I'd like to say I'm fairly well travelled around the city. It's a great idea.
Well, it's all about making sure that people have got parklands that they can enjoy themselves in, and all of a sudden, Whitmore Square here in the southwest corner, it's come completely to life. It's great.
And I like the idea of you don't have to worry about the tennis table stuff. It all comes supplied.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you go down to the community centre or pop into the local cafe, they've got bats, balls. You just need to make sure you pick a day without much wind.
From time to time on South Aussie with Cosi's Facebook page, we get messages from people and families that are saying that they're struggling financially and that to save for a holiday that we go on is actually quite tough. We understand that, so I thought what I'd do is I'd get Mark Lewis from Bernie Lewis to actually jump on and give us some financial tips that'll hopefully help you get your financial affairs in order so that you can come out and enjoy places like Robe.
Look, the best way to save, whether it's for a holiday or for indeed anything, is to set yourself a budget. You know, a budget is a living document. It's not something that you do once and stick it in the drawer. It's something that you've got to be constantly reviewing and logging expenses and making sure you're on track. You know, the secret to it is to set your goals. The target is I want to save X dollars for a house deposit or for a holiday or whatever, and set that goal, and then bring it back to how much you need to save each pay packet, and then put that money aside before you do anything else. Open a separate savings account, because that way you don't see the money. And if you have a home loan already, then even better, stick that money into your home loan, provided you have free redraw. Because while it's sitting in your home loan, it's saving you interest. And then when you've hit the savings goal and you're ready to book and pay for your holiday, then you can draw it back out and at no charge out of your home loan.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Welcome back, folks. I've made a declaration. We are bringing back the great family road trip. Doesn't happen nearly enough. Remember when you were a kid, your mums and dads would take you on those great road trips around South Australia. You'd be playing I Spy, car cricket, the sing-alongs, all that sort of gear. Your brother and sister would be fighting like cats and dogs in the back seat. Dad would reach around and try to pinch your leg. Ah, good times. We're here at Robe, which is only a couple of hours, really, 3 hours from the CBD. It's a beautiful spot. And they tell me it's actually famous for, believe it or not, its coffee. And that's where we're heading next.
This is Mahalia Coffee, and we're based in Robe on the Limestone coast, and we're a boutique roasting house, and we roast coffee that we get from all over the world.
The smell of this place is unbelievable. We've got the coffee roaster in the background. Coffee's about to exit, I think, in about 2 seconds from here. The smell of the coffee roasting is simply divine.
You need to take time and care in producing the best flavour through heat and airflow and time within the drum. And then from that, the coffee cools quite quickly in around 2 minutes. And then we bag it straight away into one-wave coffee valve bags that allows the coffee to age without oxidising, because oxygen is coffee's worst enemy. Here at Robe at the retail store, we sell quite a few good homewares. So we go for the higher market homewares like Cornish ware and Limoges. Here's your hot shocky, marshmallows. Here you are. You're welcome.
I love a place like this when you can come here and you can have the adults sitting over here. The kids are what feels like miles away, not quite far enough, but it means the kids are having fun and we're doing a bit of relaxing. It's A grade.
Penola is the perfect place to pause. It's where you come to relax, enjoy award-winning wines, matched I think with award-winning fine food, but also we've got the other element where there's some great art galleries, and of course the heritage and culture. So really Penola is built around fine food, the arts, culture and heritage.
You know, Chem Plus and I are on exactly the same page when it comes to the health of South Aussies, and that is you gotta keep moving. Chem Plus tell me the average South Australian should be walking 10,000 steps a day. It's not actually that many. How many do you reckon you're currently doing? I've found the perfect location to do your 10,000 steps right here on the Limestone coast in Penola. Where do you do them? A little place called, and how cute's this? Petticoat Lane.
It's a place where you'll find old cottages, 1850s and 60s, in their original form.
Petticoat Lane is a must on any walking trail. Really easy walk, but it's about the early history of Penola. You can really immerse yourself in it, have a look at the really old buildings, the old houses, and just have a look at how they did live. And of course, I think just to enjoy what it was like, we've got the old lights, the old homes, the cobbled footpaths. So it's just about immersing yourself as the first point when you come here in history.
And how did this place get the name Petticoat Lane? Well, they reckon in the early years, this whole laneway had such a high percentage of baby girls that were born out of all the children, and hence the name Petticoat. Oh, how much to visit Petticoat Lane in Penola? It's totally free. That's a bargain.
It's just great to get away, you know, life's just so full on, and, you know, coming away with the kids, it just feels so relaxing, you know, it's something that, you know, we forget, and, you know, it's so important for families to do.
Look, if you need a good excuse as to why to take the kids away on a family holiday, how about this? A study was done on a group of kids that had just been camping. 76% of those children said that when they were away on holidays with mum and dad, they got more hugs. There was more time for cuddles. When you think about it, it makes sense. Like when you're working, you're flat out, you're stressed, you're doing long hours at home, the hug count does sort of drop down a little bit. So I say to you guys, book yourself a holiday and find more time to just push them on a swing, come down to a beach, and Increase the cuddle count. Do you reckon? Ready? No trip to Robe in the southeast is complete without visiting the famous ice cream shop.
We make all of our own ice creams. We also do hot donuts, and we've got a full selection of some of the smoothies, the milkshakes, all the way through. We do hot coffees, the full range. The main thing is that we are family friendly, so when a family comes in, they've actually got somewhere to sit, they can spread out. We put chess sets on the tables so they can sit, they can relax. They're on holidays, they want somewhere that they can really just have 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, as long as they want to enjoy themselves and have a good break.
It's just great to get away from the kids.
Maybe because we're a little lazy, we decided to get a donut robot. It makes it itself. You just press the buttons, so it actually falls in and it tracks it all the way down. It flips it over, it climbs the conveyor, and it drops itself into the sugar. It's hot, it's fresh, and obviously, yeah, they love it. There you go. Thank you. Enjoy.
The biggest problem you're going to face here at the Robe ice cream shop isn't which one of the 50 varieties of homemade ice cream you're going to choose from. It's actually working out which is the best way to buy your hot donuts. I mean, do you pay $1 each, or is the best value 3 for $3? I'm not too sure.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Welcome back, folks. We're doing a good old-fashioned SA family road trip. We've got the kids packed up. I've brought the leader of the opposition, and we're checking out the southeast of South Australia. The road trip is a great idea. When's the last time you took the kids away and packed up the car? One of the locals just said to me before, Cosi, there is a pub in Robe that you simply must check out. It's called the Caledonian. So, kiddies, Daddy's off to work. I'll leave him with you, Dale. It's a great looking pub, the Caledonian. I love driving down the main street of Robe and seeing some of these old country pubs. The Caledonian's got a huge history, keeping you up, when it comes to shipwrecks here in Robe. A couple of ships that got wrecked off the coast of Robe actually find themselves here built into the Caledonian. I'm talking about ship doors, and some timber from the ships actually now makes up the Caledonian.
The Caledonian's a great pub that's been here in the area since 1859. It was built by a Scotsman, and it's a very important place to the people of Robe and has been for over a century.
The monument behind me here at Robe, right on the foreshore, simply blows me away. You wait till you hear this story. You know, we all hate paying tax, there's no question about that. But in 1855, during the height of the gold rush, Victoria imposed a tax on Chinese people that were landing at Victorian ports. To evade that tax, the Chinese started going around Victoria and landing here at Robe in their thousands. From here in Robe, get this, they set off on foot and would walk 300 kilometres over the Victorian border and straight into the Victorian goldfields. It's pretty full on to think that at one stage over 3,000 Chinese all camped along the foreshore here at Robe as they landed to head over to the goldfields. A group of local women at that time banded together and built a shelter to care for these new arrivals. A lot of them were really, really sick when they got here with dysentery. Now, when I knew I was heading to Robe, I thought, where am I going to go for lunch? Got to go somewhere good to take the kids. So I went to the South Aussie with Cosi Facebook page and I put it up there. Where should we head? An overwhelming majority said you got to try the fish and chips in the main street, and that's where we're heading next. Come on, seagulls!
We're a family-owned business with my sister, and our husbands run it here in Robe. We've lived here all our lives. Well, we're basically a fish and chip shop, which we mainly specialise in local fish that we buy off the boats here. We do crayfish, which the season goes from October through till May.
No, you're right.
Our most popular item on our menu is snapper and flake, which is locally caught here in Robe. It's as fresh as you can get, straight off the boats, and we cook and bring out to the public, and it's very well sought after.
It's got to be one of the most beautiful beaches in South Australia, doesn't it? This one's called Long Beach here in Robe. You know, we're always keen to find out where you guys have been holidaying, taking the kids or hanging out with your mates in South Australia. If you ever get any good photos, even if they're old ones from back in the 80s, I want to see them all. Head to southaussiewithcosi.com.au and send them to me. Just for doing that, I could be giving you $500 to spend at Adelaide Arcade. Now let's see who's in this week's draw. And these guys have done exactly that. They're enjoying the Limestone coast. Oh, it's great to see. It doesn't get any better than this. Hey, have you sent me in your holiday photos yet? Come on, hurry up. Just head to southaussiewithcosi.com.au. The great South Australian family road trip. I want to bring it back. I'm passionate about it. And I don't want you to be daunted by thinking about driving down here to the southeast. The drive itself is really, really easy. And petrol-wise, let me put this to you. I reckon you would spend more money getting a taxi from Melbourne Airport into the city than you would paying for fuel to come down here on a road trip like we're doing to the southeast. I think about what my family did for me when I was a young fella. We did road trips all over the place. Ask yourself this. When's the last time you did a family road trip with your kids? Where did you go? And when your kids are my age, what are they going to be remembering? If you haven't done a road trip for a while, I think you owe it to your kids to do one. Now, next up, I'm going to show you where we're staying. This place is awesome. It's a holiday park with its own disco, and the kids absolutely love it.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
If you're driving around the Limestone coast, then without a doubt you're going to come across plenty of these. You might have thought to yourself, what are they? Well, they're actually drains, and believe it or not, in 1860 the locals started digging these drains with nothing more than picks and shovels and wheelbarrows. They later on down the track moved on to steam shovels. The idea was pretty simple. They wanted to get the water out to the sea so that would turn swampland into good farming land that they could actually use. A massive job, and there are literally hundreds of them. And I'm told as well, any of the drains like this one here in Robe that's located really close to the sea, the water through these drains is perfect fishing for bream. Like I've been saying, I'm trying to bring back the great SA family road trip, and to the southeast, well, that's the destination you need to be heading. Our accommodation for this weekend, well, we're staying at the Discovery Holiday Parks here at Robe. From what I've heard and from what I've seen on the net, this place is fantastic for kids.
Discovery Holiday Parks, it's set right on Long Beach here in Robe. We're approximately 2 kilometres out of Robe. We've got everything from powered sites to cabins. We go from our deluxe right down to our standards.
You know what's changed massively in the last 5 or 10 years when it comes to accommodation out in the regions? And that's caravan parks. No longer really could you call them caravan parks, because back in the day it was exactly that. Rock up with your caravan. If you didn't have a caravan or a tent, it'd be no good. Nowadays, like the one here at Robe, they're holiday parks. And this villa here that I'm standing on right now, 2 bedrooms, starts from around about 160 bucks. So that means for 160 bucks, you can bring the family down here, load it up. You've got all your kitchen facilities and your bathroom facilities, and you need to pack practically nothing.
This park is probably one of the popular parks, particularly throughout the school holidays. It's a fantastic family park. Here in Robe, there's lots to see and do, but even just within the park, it's a great family-friendly park. Kids are safe and secure. Mum and Dad can relax knowing the kids are safe and secure. There's lots for them to do.
Lots of holiday parks in South Australia have swimming pools, right? You see them all the time. But this one is pretty special because this swimming pool here is heated. That means it doesn't matter whether it's summer, autumn, winter or spring, you can go swimming inside here at Robe.
One of the great things that we do is we very much get involved with the local community. The CFS is an important part of the region here in Robe. We have a strong relationship with the Robe CFS. In fact, our park manager, Andy, is a member of the CFS, and we do an awful lot to raise funds for the CFS to help them with their firefighting equipment. So when we do have a busy park, they come on in with their trucks. The kids get to clamber all over the truck. They get the fire hoses out, the kids get to squirt the fire hose, just have a bit of fun and pretend that they're a firefighter for a change.
Now here's something I've never seen before in a holiday park, and as a father of 3, I love the fact that the Robe Holiday Park has its own discos on Friday nights during the busy periods for all the kids, and it's totally free. Now put your hands up in the air. Well, that's it for another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. We have hopefully re-inspired you to recreate the great South Australian family road trip like we've done. I think it's been a bit of a roaring success. I could make it a little bit easier for you. How would you like a free trip to the southeast? Well, that can be done as well. If you're anywhere near Facebook, get ready because you could be heading right here. There are 5 Discovery holiday parks in SA, and you could win not 1, but 4 nights free accommodation in a cabin with the family to any one of their destinations you choose, including the one I've just shown you, Robe. You want it? Get on Facebook, head to South Aussie with Cosi, click like and enter. So that's right, you could be winning one of 11 SA holidays just for jumping on Facebook, liking the page and entering. Well, that's it for another week of South Aussie with Cosi. Hopefully you get yourself out into SA, book yourself a holiday and go and make some memories that'll last forever. We'll see you next week.
In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday, South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
South Aussie with Cosi is proudly brought to you by the South Australian Tourism Commission.
South Aussie with Cosi.
I like possums.